he didn't look like he was enjoying it. He looked like a kid that was like, put on your nice outfit. We're going to grandma's house. And I'm like, I don't want to go. Welcome back to this week's Motorsport Podcast. I'm Carrie.
And I'm Mike.
And we are here to talk about the 2025 Canadian Grand Prix. Is that what it's called?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. At Circuit Gilles Villeneuve.
Yeah. I can't do the French. Sorry.
I was hoping you would get an attempt.
No. It would come out.
It would come out like a ho.
Yeah. Like Pepe Le Pew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that would be the case. Or fortunately, I guess, depending on...
I was going to say, depends on where you land. Yeah.
Yeah. So...
Georgie.
Oh, George.
Georgie getting the W.
Yeah, I was really happy for him.
Yep.
I know I've been critical of George in the past, but he's still a Mercedes boy, and I will cheer for Mercedes until the end.
Yeah. And I mean, the Mercedes is always good in Canada.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, and I don't remember if I said it on the pod or just thought it or said it to you, not being recorded, but the expectation was that they were going to be good based on it being cold, and it wasn't cold. So I think everyone was kind of pleasantly surprised that they were good in the heat.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but heat is like, it's not like it's...
Yeah, I don't know what temperature it was
summer.
because they were saying it was 25 degrees Celsius.
And you don't understand that.
And I didn't know what that meant, but they kept saying how warm it was. So I was like, okay, it's warm.
Mid-70s for
Okay.
you.
So I guess I'm not. Yeah. So I guess it's fair to say, like, it's not good in the hot.
In the hot,
heat.
yeah.
But yeah. And like Kimmy drove incredibly well. I was fully expecting an intense start.
Yeah.
Because you've got
just who was in this.
George and Max, which I love when, fate rolls in and it's like, haha.
Tussle.
Yeah. So, but Max absolutely behaved himself this whole race. Like he didn't drive like Max because he didn't want the race ban.
Yeah. He knew that he was on thin ice.
Absolutely.
And he knows that he is a magnet for
disaster,
penalties, disaster, controversy.
Yeah, like
everything.
He knew he had to drive a clean race.
Yeah.
And he did.
Which, kudos to him for a second place finish, while not to say he didn't give it his all, but not being as aggressive as he usually is.
Yeah.
Which I think does highlight he can be that good without crossing the line.
So I feel like there was different. No, so I disagree. He was lucky because sorry. Like,
I made a face.
But George was on his own.
Yeah.
Max wasn't that close to George.
No.
He was lucky that Oscar struggled and Kimi was able to get past him because I don't think Kimi was going to turn into a credible threat to Max.
That's fair.
So had it been a Lando or Oscar aggressively on his tail, I think we would have seen something different. I don't know if he would have had the self-restraint that he did, but he circumstantially, like he was able to kind of benefit from just sitting in that second place.
Right, yeah, and after the first couple of laps, he stopped sort of attacking George. Not that he really attacked in the first couple laps anyways, but he maintained a close gap.
Yeah.
Right? He had him under some pressure.
Yeah, he was never really close.
For the first few laps.
Yeah.
But then...
He wasn't far.
It was a few seconds after that from then on. And we didn't really see Max throughout the race
No.
because no overtakes from him.
No, he just kind of sat there.
He sat in a second place sweet spot.
For a minute, we were like, is he going to do a 3-stop?
Yeah. I wonder if he was thinking it would be like last year where the Merc would struggle or George would make a mistake and he'd be able to capitalize off of it, much like last year. Or if he just thought, I'm in second. this is a good spot.
I can get some good points.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I do think he benefited though from it being Kimi behind him.
Yeah, because Kimi's not going to be. I don't think he has the confidence yet.
No.
To be attacking Max.
No, I think he was probably. I mean, I think had the opportunity presented itself,
he would have gone for it. Yeah. He would go for a gap or.
Yeah, like he's a good racer.
Yes.
But he kind of just stayed where he was at.
Yeah.
Like it was very routine.
Yeah.
Until it wasn't.
Well, yeah. That. Not that it wasn't, because it was an exciting race throughout the whole race. Like, it was solid racing, but I think when we see the two McLarens hard racing, we've been waiting for it for, I don't know what this is, like the 9th race, 10th race. We've been waiting for it since Australia.
Yeah,
right.
This was the outcome.
We have been waiting for this, and it's been so built up, and it did not disappoint.
No.
Right? The two of them going wheel to wheel for quite a while was incredible.
Yeah.
It was so good to see them fight. And it was nice that McLaren didn't step in. As a fan, it's nice that McLaren didn't step in and, put their stupid papaya rules and all that garbage or have them swap spots, whatever. It was nice that they were just like, let them fight, lift it to them, and then in the end. Ooh.
But it wasn't much of a fight. Like, it really wasn't.
What? They were wheel to wheel exchanging positions for...
Didn't they just exchange positions like...
Twice. Like, Lando overtook, Oscar took it back.
I think that was it.
They went wheel to wheel for a while. It looked like Lando was going to take it.
I think
then
you thought
Oscar
it was way more
pulled it
exciting than it was.
It was excellent to me. I loved it.
Because there was not a lot of action in this race, if I'm being completely honest. I think you got a little bit more excited than... Like, what happened was, from like a normal person watching it, Lando overtook Oscar. Oscar took it back. Lando drove into the back of Oscar.
I feel like you're minimizing it.
I'm absolutely not. It was not that exciting.
That highlight reel is solid of those two going wheel to wheel. That is an exceptional couple laps of racing.
It wasn't. I don't think it was a couple laps. I think it was like a half a lap, and then it just like
it was good.
It was.
And then Lando.
Yeah, Lando was Lando.
Landoed. Yeah.
Offer still out there, Lando, if you're looking for
a mindset coach. Yeah.
Mindset coach. He took a gap that simply wasn't there.
Yeah. And a lot of comparison to Button and Lewis in 2011, which it wasn't the same.
It wasn't the same.
It's
no.
not the same thing.
No.
Right? Like, it's not like Oscar closed the door on him.
No.
The door wasn't open.
No. Oscar just drove.
Yeah.
And Lando drove into the back of him.
Yeah.
And he's lucky that he didn't take Oscar out of the race too.
Yeah, that would have been...
Because to like sabotage your own race is one thing, but then to take both of the cars out of the race, that would have been, I think, a different conversation altogether.
Yeah, absolutely. I do give kudos to Lando for immediately following. He doesn't place blame. He doesn't, get angry.
Which was surprising.
That's
some personal growth on his part.
He knew what he did.
Yeah.
Right? He knew that he had made the error and misjudged and hit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he then does take it a step further beyond the accountable for his action into I'm stupid.
Yeah, I did feel bad for him because while he's not my favorite person, I don't think he's a bad person.
No.
I think he's entitled.
Okay.
But I think that I do feel bad for like Lando, the person who's like clearly struggling with the talent that he's driving against. Like in Oscar.
Yeah.
And Oscar is just like unflappable.
He really is.
He's just like, I'm sure there was a radio message, but I didn't hear one. Like Oscar just drove away.
Yeah.
Like it was like nothing happened.
Well, in his post race, he's like, I felt a little tap. He didn't think much of it.
Yeah. I think and to drive against that, someone like Lando, who I think struggles a bit.
Yeah.
That has to make Lando spiral even more. Yeah. But then if you're Zach Brown and you're Andrea Stella and you're McLaren, you kind of have to like do we want to put our hopes on the guy who is like ice flowing through his veins, or do we want to put it on the guy who
is on an emotional roller coaster?
Yeah, you don't know what Lando
time.
you're going to get that week.
And he has natural talent. He's an exceptional driver, but mentally he's just not as strong.
No, he falls apart.
Yeah.
He falls apart pretty quickly too.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think this was good evidence of he went wheel to wheel with Oscar. Oscar stayed completely calm and in control.
And handled it.
No, like he didn't put a wheel wrong.
No.
Anywhere.
No.
And then that's the result is Lando caved under the pressure.
Yeah.
Which,
unfortunate.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if McLaren does start to prioritize Oscar over Lando.
How can you not? Like, so Oscar widened his gap in the championship lead, and he's proven he holds it together.
Yeah.
Which is what you need in a championship driver.
Yeah.
You need somebody who's not going to fall apart every single time. And like, I don't know if you were like listening to it, but like his engineer was basically
coaching him
the whole
weekend, right?
Which, I mean, good, because it seems like he needs that a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's not a world champion. A world champion is like, leave me to it.
Right.
Not, or like if there's like, you know, some information that they need, sure. But to like have to be actively coaching them the entire time.
Yeah.
Not to say that he doesn't have it in him to do good things in the future. And I think I'm not trying to take anything away from him right now.
Yeah.
But he's not, as much as I don't like Max, Max shows up.
Yeah.
And Max wouldn't have made that mistake.
No. If anything, he would have been sure that they both are out.
Yeah, right. Like he shows up a lot more consistently, and Lando doesn't show up consistently.
Right.
When he shows up,
he's great.
He's great. But also the problem is, like, if something goes wrong, he starts to unravel really quick.
Yeah.
He doesn't move past it. So I don't know. I guess we will see. But he can't afford to have those kinds of mistakes.
No.
It kind of evened it out, though, because, like, Oscar had that, I don't know, did he finish 10th in Australia when he drove on the grass and got stuck? And so otherwise, had that not happened, Oscar would have an even bigger lead.
Right.
I don't know. I like, not to like hate on Lando. I don't hate him.
Yeah.
I don't like him. You know what? I don't want to dislike him.
No.
He seems like he's a likable person, but you wronged my Lewis.
And you will never get over
It's
it.
what you get.
Yeah. He has apologized for that, though.
For that comment?
Yeah. He has said he was wrong.
When?
It was like in an interview. He retracted that. Oh yeah. I'll find the clip. He retracted that statement.
But he's also been like, okay, so he wronged Lewis.
Yeah.
I didn't like how he handled the whole Oscar thing, which I get his team screwed up and put him in that position when he was in front of Oscar.
Yeah.
And they asked him to swap back. I don't appreciate how he handled that. So there have been a few things
that have built up.
Yeah.
To get you to this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, McLaren's lucky that Red Bull essentially still only has one real point scoring driver.
Yeah.
So there isn't the threat of them really taking the constructor championship.
Well, they're not even close.
No,
they're
I know.
in fourth.
Yeah, but that's so you can have Max in the fight, and it doesn't hurt them from a constructor perspective.
No, I think barring some craziness, I feel like McLaren's going to win the constructor championship.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, they've been dominant.
Someone would have to have like crazy improvements.
Yeah.
And Lando just continues to spiral.
Yeah.
And have one driver.
And I think that's we saw Mercedes this weekend having fantastic showing with Kimi getting his first podium.
Yeah.
Which
they leapfrogged Ferrari.
But this really is the best track for Mercedes. It's this in Vegas where their car really comes alive.
Yeah.
And not to say that they're not a threat, but I think they are firmly behind McLaren for the constructor, and will continue to be for the majority of the remaining races, unless they see unless they see some changes, which
could
entirely
happen.
possible.
Yeah,
a very real possibility.
Yeah, like we're
not even halfway.
No, that's what I was trying to do the math in my head, and I couldn't.
No, we're not even halfway. So there is still tons of opportunity for big changes and big developments and swaps.
Guess we'll see.
Yeah, but so Kimi first podium, very exciting for him.
Yeah, I was happy for him.
Yeah, he's now the third youngest.
Oh, is he? So Max and Lance were both younger than him?
Yeah. It was Max, then Lance, then Kimi. It just makes me laugh that Lance is on that list.
Yeah, but that was like by accident.
I know, but still.
I know.
Yeah.
That'll be his claim to fame.
It is. It really is.
He had like a very underwhelming weekend.
Yeah. So I found his weekend very weird, right? He's gone last weekend. He makes the push to come back for this weekend. He refuses to talk about his wrist at all.
And he just looked like a sulky.
Right?
Like he was just like,
this is your home weekend.
Yeah.
Why are you not showing something?
But was he pushed? Like maybe it wasn't his decision to race.
It must not have been.
So.
Right? He sits there in the press briefing with his hand in his pocket, hiding his wrist. He seemed less enthused than he already was, like usually is. And that's already very unenthused to be there.
Yeah.
Which I thought was crappy for him. Like, as a Canadian, the only Canadian driver, it's your home weekend. You have stands named after you. Show up for it.
Yeah.
If you're gonna drive, you've made the decision to drive. Show up for it.
Yeah.
But I do think he was in a terrible position this weekend because since he is coming off of an injury, there's the thought of, do I come back this weekend? Or, as you said, a couple weekends ago, did he rush it and come back too early after the original incident? Yeah. Like, either he's a hero if he does super well, in that he's like Carlos after he gets his appendix removed and wins the race.
Yeah.
Or it's, it was too early. You shouldn't have done it.
I feel like in the case of Lance, like, he was going to be wrong no matter what.
Yeah. It might be unfair, but he doesn't have the talent or the car to pull off an amazing upset.
No.
To get into the level of, this was an amazing thing, great job, amazing that you came back and did this weekend.
Yeah, he finished last.
Yeah,
like the only cars that finished behind him were DNFs.
Didn't finish. Yeah, and that's like, he either put himself in this terrible position or someone's pushing him. Lauren's probably pushing him to be there this weekend because it's his home Grand Prix, and maybe he didn't want to.
No, they haven't really said what's going on.
No.
So I feel bad for him. Like, it can't feel good to be him. Like, you're the son of this, like, okay, sorry. I know he.
So we're now going, we're feeling bad for the billionaire.
I do feel bad for him because I think he had this passion early on, and I think he probably at one point truly loved it, and I don't think he does anymore.
No.
But how do you say no to your dad who has like
invested $1 billion?
Yeah. Like, I mean, that's not a great position to be in.
No.
I feel for him as the human. Like, I understand he's a big boy. He could walk away at any point. But there's probably such immense pressure, and like, that's like his dad's like biggest dream is to like see his kid win races, win championships, and
but it's strange that he hasn't developed through his F1 career, right? Like, he's been in F1 for quite a long time now, and he was very strong in the lower levels, right? Like, other drivers have talked about how, like, George has said he used to beat me, or Ocon has said he used to beat me. But when he came to Formula One, he hasn't gotten better over the years.
No, he's had like little blips, but he's inconsistent.
Yeah, at best.
But he's also hasn't been driving the best cars.
No, he's never had a strong car.
And I'm not saying like that would make a huge difference. I think he's still very inconsistent.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I do feel bad for him because he probably is in the position where it's like he feels like he can't just walk away.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If he needs someone to talk to his dad, are you available for that
Sure.
tough phone call?
Yeah, I can negotiate that exit for him.
Yeah.
I provide a wide range of
range of services.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. FIA president.
Yeah.
Mindset coach.
Yeah.
Hostage negotiator.
Yeah, that's exactly it, right?
Yeah, but I do feel because like they are people at the end of the day, and like I don't want to see like he can't be enjoying this.
No,
he didn't look like he was enjoying it. He looked like a kid that was like, put on your nice outfit. We're going to grandma's house, and I'm like, I don't want to go.
Yeah,
like that's what he looked like.
Yeah,
he looked sad.
He usually looks sad.
Well, he's being held hostage.
Yeah, I wonder if he's secretly sending messages through his blinks. We should really go through the...
Do we need like a freelance campaign like Free Britney?
Yeah, exactly.
Where it was like, if you're wearing the yellow shirt, this is what this means. We could have, I think we should start doing that. Try to decode.
Yeah, decode Lance.
Yeah, is he trying to send us messages?
Let's dig into it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
The freelance movement. If you want # freelance stroll merch, we'll have that ready.
They'll be available soon.
I'm sure we'll get flooded with orders.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's like move on, right? Yeah. Like if you're not enjoying, it's just kind of like with Checo, like the rumors of Checo coming back, like move on.
I do want to ask your opinion on how you feel about George knowing he is now a large Taylor Swift fan.
Swiftie? Oh my God, I was so excited. That made me like George so much more. So much more.
Yeah.
I was like, for the first time, I was like, I like George.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did, yeah.
I think now we also need a debate of what is his favorite Taylor Swift song, because it's amazing. And
I feel like he probably got really into the 1989 album.
Yeah, sure.
Because it's like they're good pop, I think, blank space style. He probably loves style. He probably like relates. Yeah, I do recall when she was on the Eras tour. I'm pretty sure he attended one of her shows, but I feel like he was like with his like niece or something. And so I was like, oh, he's just like this rich guy who's taking his niece.
Yeah. He's just being a good uncle.
No, he's just a Swiftie.
No, he's just, he convinced his niece to go.
Yeah. I was excited that he was a Swiftie.
Yeah.
I think it's much more relatable than some of the other musical interests.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I would think he'd be into like Kendrick Lamar or somebody.
But Mercedes does have the opportunity to do something hilarious in partner with Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
As this past weekend, Red Bull partnered with OVO, which is Drake's fashion
Oh, yeah.
line.
You told me that.
So it would be incredible for them to do something with Kendrick Lamar and just troll Red Bull and Drake.
I do. I love Kendrick Lamar. Like I love that level of petty.
Yeah.
It's just so good.
It's right up your alley.
It's, oh my gosh. Yeah. So, right up my alley.
Yeah.
I'm just a complicated individual. Okay.
Yeah. There was something interesting out of this weekend. So Red Bull filed a complaint to the FIA after the race.
Such titty babies.
Such whiny baby moves. They dismissed it, obviously.
Got tossed.
Because they saw that. But what did you think about that? Because he does brake under the safety car.
Weren't they, like, wasn't it going into a turn?
No, he full on brakes. Like, it's just not to say that he should get a penalty or anything, or he shouldn't have won, because not at all. It just seems like such a risky move to me, because what if Max had hit him?
I don't think it was intentional. If it was somebody else, I don't think George is that clever. But is he that petty? Where he is that petty, yes.
He's trying to get a penalty for Max so that he's not there for Austria.
Yeah, but I don't think George is the one to like execute it well. I don't know. I need to watch the video again because I just feel like I should have watched it in preparation. But in my head, it was like such a non-issue that I was kind of like, this is silly.
Well, the FAA agrees with you. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because I am their president.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Interestingly, though, Lando did get a penalty.
For what?
For crashing into Oscar.
Oh, good.
For causing a collision.
Yeah.
But what's weird is he didn't get any penalty points.
Okay, so that's some bullshit.
right?
Yeah.
So he gets a 5-second penalty. So they classify him as finishing, which is odd.
Mm-hmm.
And so they just tacked it onto his time.
That's so stupid.
Yeah. But he didn't get any points, which is so weird. Like,
It's because it's so inconsistent. This is what
so inconsistent.
This is what drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Because had that been Max,
He would have gotten the penalty.
he absolutely would have gotten a penalty.
Yeah.
Had it been K-Meg, he would have gotten a penalty.
I mean, K-Mag, they would have revoked his license or something.
Right? Like certain drivers, I think they would absolutely be so harsh.
Yeah.
Esteban Ocon, like I feel like last year they hated that guy.
Yeah.
He got all the penalties. Like I just don't think that that's fair because there was not a gap. There was no gap. He drove into the back of Oscar.
Yeah, but it's they clearly saw it was his fault, right? They penalized him, right? They know he did something wrong, but why on earth are they not giving him points?
Well,
It's just
yeah.
it's so wild that you've acknowledged he caused a collision, which automatically should be at least one penalty point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he didn't take Oscar out, which is great, but it's so inconsistent, and it leaves the opportunity for people to question how things are being done.
So you want it to be not like the criminal justice system where it's like sentencing guidelines. So it's like you could get 5 to 10 years or whatever. So like you want it to be like you did this. It needs to be this plus this.
No, I think that is how it should be, but with the criminal justice system, there's minimums, right?
Yeah.
When you cause a collision,
He got the minimum though.
okay,
Just because you don't like it.
fair.
I agree. I think he should have absolutely had more because I think maybe he would have got more if Oscar was DNF'd too.
Yeah,
Because trust me, I think that sometimes they're too lenient.
yeah,
I think it's just very inconsistent and they need to kind of tighten up those standards. But I saw this like it was like this, I don't know, like Instagram post, and it was talking about how like under the current guidelines of things and how they like throw out penalties and stuff.
yeah.
Like Schumacher and Senna would just like they wouldn't have raced.
Yeah.
Like they would have always been under Schumacher, especially like would have always been
He
under
would
like a
have
race ban.
Yeah, he would have had
Yeah.
several race bans.
And like I think it was it Julian Palmer? Maybe did I talk about this last time? How
I don't know where you're going with this. So.
Okay. How he was saying like it's hard to get a race ban.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a case like this where it's like Oscar is, I get they're on the same team,
Yeah.
but Oscar is the championship leader
Yeah.
and you've just crashed into the back of him, which could have had, far reaching consequences.
I wonder if it's like McLaren going to the stewards and saying, we're not pressing charges.
That's what I was wondering. Yeah. Like, but had Lando crashed in the back of Max, Red Bull would have lost their minds.
Of course they would have.
Even if like Max drove
Yeah,
away
if Max-
totally unscathed.
Absolutely. And they would have fought for him to get a stiff penalty.
Yeah. But I mean, Zach Brown's not going to do that.
No, of course not.
In my head, every time I say Zach Brown, I'm like, did I just say Zach Morris? But I know I said Brown.
Yeah.
For all of you international listeners, there's this wonderful show called Saved by the Bell. It's from the 90s. Highly recommend.
Mm-hmm.
The main character is Zach Morris. I don't know why. I think it's because it's like Zach Brown, Lando Norris, like I just, in my head, I'm always like, I just called them Zach Morris.
Yeah.
But you should watch the show. It's great. There is also a spinoff, Saved by the Bell, the college years. Not worth it.
Not great. No.
No, they should have just left it.
Speaking of spin-offs, this is completely unrelated, but...
Because Saved by the Bell was very relevant to Formula One.
Absolutely it was. So this is actually relevant. Danica Patrick, on the grid and talking for Sky Sports,
Yeah.
continues to make ridiculous comments that are leaving...
Do you think she just tries to piss people off? She pisses Jensen Button off, and I love that.
Yeah, she pisses a lot of people off. And I think I sent you the clip of her talking to Nico Rosberg about the Canadian Grand Prix and how this is such an easy circuit.
Oh, yeah.
And how it's the easiest one of the year and whatever else. And
Were they actually speaking to each other, or was he just...
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I did not watch it.
And Nico Rosberg's face is just like, it's so much confusion and
Disgust.
yeah, like, and you can see in his face, he's like, you don't know what you're talking about.
And he's like, how do I handle this without being like,
how
you
do
moron?
yeah. And she did the exact same thing when she was talking to, I think it was Martin Brundle. And he stands there just with a puzzled look on his face, thinking, why am I standing here next to this lady who knows nothing?
Yeah, it'd be like talking to me and me being like, it's an easy track to drive.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, oh, when did you drive it?
Exactly. And, both of them are saying, it's not easy.
I don't think any of them are easy.
Of course they're not. Yeah. They all have their own challenges. They're all unique. And it amazes me that she continues to have a very forward-facing job with Sky Sports when she knows nothing. And
It's funny because like I saw, and I don't know if it was talking about this one, but it was like keyboard warriors talking about how easy it is on the sim to drive this this, and it's like you realize it is a computer game.
Yeah.
It's not the same as being in a car with G-forces.
Yeah.
The computer game doesn't replicate G-forces.
But they don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
Like,
don't know.
okay, sure, I could drive around that track slow.
Yeah.
And be fine. I could drive around probably any of them, and maybe Azerbaijan. I probably would hit that one corner.
One corner. Oh
yeah.
Yeah. Even at
real slow, I would manage to hit a wall.
Yeah.
But like it is hard. As much as I joke about like, well, I'm not really joking about being able to beat Nicholas Latifi.
Yeah.
I recognize that I don't have the neck strength to tolerate G-forces of any kind.
But that's what keyboard people do, right? That's what computer trolls, internet trolls do, right? They talk about things like they're experts when they actually have no idea.
Like us.
Well, exactly. Yeah. This is why we're here.
But I like to think that we're like a little bit nicer, maybe.
I don't think so.
No?
No.
You think we're mean? You think I'm mean?
I'm going to use the word opinionated.
I am opinionated.
Yes.
I would say this to their faces, though.
I know you would. Yeah.
And like provide constructive criticism on how to navigate it and improve.
Yeah.
Because I think they're all fixable. I mean, maybe not Max.
Yeah.
Lando wants to be a good person.
Yes.
Max does not give a shit.
No, he doesn't give a shit.
No.
But do you not think you relate to that?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. No, I know.
Yeah.
But I think I'm nicer than Max. No? What?
I mean, he doesn't care what people think of him. He wants to win. He's doing whatever it takes to win.
I'm not going to drive into somebody, though.
You're telling me if you had the opportunity to drive against George and you watched George crash into Valtteri, you wouldn't then take some revenge and try to pop him into a wall? Because I know you would.
No, I don't think I would. No, because you know what?
If there was not the risk for injury.
No, it's not about that. Like I
don't care about that.
No, because I would care more about winning until the very end.
Right.
Rather than I would like to think I'm smarter than Max in that regard, that I can do the math and realize that like some points are better than no points, and recognize that you can think that you're both gonna be able to walk away from this and not ruin anybody's race, and that doesn't always happen.
No, but I would say that's old Max. Like Max hasn't been like that since 2021. I think he learned.
Excuse me. No. Bullshit. Last year, him driving against Lando, do you not remember those? And it was like, oh, here's the Max of 2021.
Yeah, but they didn't crash.
Keep saying, yeah, they did. Lando like crashed out of the race.
Lando did.
Because of Max.
Yeah, but Max didn't.
Yeah, but
whereas in like 2017,
Oh, so you're saying
18.
he crashes into people and doesn't crash himself?
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't know. I will respectfully disagree that I would be smarter than him and just beat them.
I'd love to put it to the test.
Fine, we'll have a running race. I'm not going to
Between you and Max?
I'm not going to trip you. No. Like, I'm smarter than that. Like, Max and I aren't the same person.
No, I'm not saying you are.
Yes, there are similarities, but there's also, like, glaring differences.
Yeah. No, you'd be an aggressive driver, but not a dangerous driver.
I'm not even sure I would be aggressive.
Based on your speed on the highway, you would not be at all.
No, let's remember that so, like, on horses, I'd never raced.
Right.
But sailing, I raced. I didn't hit people. I was aggressive, but not crazy.
Yeah.
Like, no.
That's funny.
I'm not going to compare myself to, like, Lewis, but I would, like, I don't know. Aggressive, but smart.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
Yeah. What happened to Isaac Hajar? I feel like I wasn't paying attention, but he somehow ended up in 16th.
Yeah, I think it was a strategy error.
He
did get a grid place penalty.
He did, but then did he also get, like, another penalty?
He might have. I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, this wasn't my favorite race, if I'm being completely honest.
No?
No.
I liked it. Yeah.
Funny, because you did fall asleep.
This is untrue.
I'm just going to video you next time, and then I'll just post it to the socials, and they'll see. Evidence. So the next one up is the Austrian Grand Prix.
Yeah.
On June 29th.
Red Bull's home race.
I don't like this one.
No?
This race, no.
Why?
I don't know. I'm not a fan of this race. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's like Red Bull.
Yeah, the Red Bull ring.
I mean, that probably doesn't help, but I don't know. Like, I enjoy watching Spa because I think, like, that's, like, a really cool old track, and I just don't feel that about this. I was like, meh. I mean, I'll watch it, obviously, but it's not, like, one of my favorites of the year.
The sea of Dutch fans.
Yeah, that annoys me.
The orange smoke.
I love Dutch people, but I don't, like, the smoke thing annoys me.
Yeah.
Like, if they're just there wearing their orange supporting Max, I don't, like, that doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
It's the smoke canisters, because I'm like, if I was beside that person, I would lose my mind.
Oh, yeah. It'd be infuriating.
Like, I don't have enough chill in me to, like, navigate that. Just like if somebody, like, popped up a big sign, or, like,
elbowing you with us as they're lifting it up.
Yeah, like, I need like premium seats away from people.
Yeah.
Because
with the techno blaring.
Yeah, like, I wouldn't be able to handle it.
No.
I'd be enraged.
Yeah. You'd be angry the whole weekend.
I think about that all the time when they show people in the stands, and it's like with their crazy hats and stuff. And I'm like, I would be furious if I was behind that person.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I feel like normal people are like, oh, there's the audience. And I'm like, woof, if I was behind that guy.
Yeah, or holding up the sign for the whole race so the people behind can't see.
Like, who wants to hold a sign? Who wants to hold a flag?
A dedicated fan. That's who.
And not that dedicated.
No.
Not even a little bit. But the smoke canisters personally offend me, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
Because even when they are, like, when they're different colors and it's not like a Max thing,
yeah,
I'm still just like, that is the most obnoxious thing a person can do.
What amazes me is I think they banned them at many races a couple years ago, but it's years ago when they would throw them and you'd see them, like, the smoke going over the track as they're driving.
That's what I don't understand. Like,
and it's like, how is this not a safety issue?
Here it's like everything's banned. You have to have clear bags.
Yeah.
They have to be like a certain dimension that is like, you can fit nothing.
Yeah.
You're allowed to bring nothing in anywhere with you.
Yeah.
And there I'm like, is it just the Wild West? Because here they would call that a weapon.
Yeah.
Like, you would get like arrested or something on this. I don't know what happens when you violate stadium policies, but like it can't be good. I don't know if they just confiscate it.
Yeah, they confiscate.
But there, like, it just seems Europe. Like, I don't know what you're doing.
Hey, living wild and free.
Right? So you bring in your contraband. We don't care.
Do what you feel. Yep.
There is no contraband.
No.
Yeah. Like here, it's like they're with a tape measure measuring your shit.
Yeah. Sorry, you brought a water bottle? Can't bring that in here.
You can bring nothing.
Yeah.
You can bring a cell phone and a wallet.
That's it.
Yeah. Like.
And some signage.
Yeah, I guess so. You're going to see like somebody who has like all the little smoke things attached to the back of a sign. Anyway, so got any predictions?
This is a good one for, I think Max is going to be on the podium, but I think this is going to go back to a McLaren fight.
Yeah.
This weekend, this next race.
I think you're going to see Oscar, Max, Lando.
Yeah, I do think we'll see Ferrari more in the mix.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about Lewis.
You know,
I was so upset for Lewis hitting that poor groundhog.
Yeah.
Because he was upset because he killed a groundhog.
Yeah.
And that it wrecked his floor.
Yeah.
But I mean, he still placed well considering that he had that much damage to his floor.
Yeah.
He still finished 6th and like had no pace.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And I mean, what was interesting with Ferrari was just Charles again with his engineers, and like they seem to just.
So I saw this quote from Fred, and he was like, "We've replaced the drivers. We've like." And so, did you read like all of the comments though around it?
Well, finish the quote.
Okay, sorry. Well, I don't remember the quote, but he was basically like, "We've replaced everything else," but they're also implying that like when they employ a lot of like Italians, like they're not. This is going to sound bad, and I don't mean to offend anybody, but they're not going after the best of the best.
They're only going after.
Going after the best Italians.
Italians, yeah. The rest of the teams are going for a global population of.
Yes, we're trying to find the best engineers. We're trying to find the best of this person, and they're not doing that. Not to say that there's not talent in Italy, because I think it's obviously a big country. There's a lot of talented people in all different things, but they're not trying to. They're limiting themselves, I guess.
Yeah.
And I guess that probably plays into like the senior management. Like there's problems. So. And I guess, like, I don't know who has designed their car.
I don't know.
Like, I don't know if that's a dig, too, of, like, they could have had an Adrian Newey and they didn't. I don't know. Maybe if Fred just filled in the blanks,
yeah,
we wouldn't have to speculate.
So cryptic, Fred.
Way to go, Fred. But, yeah, like, I think you should hire the best person for the role that they can find.
Yeah. Well, because they've gone through a fair number of principals in
recent years, yeah.
In recent years. Like, I know Fred's been there, 3 years now as principal, but
if he's limited, then
yeah,
I don't know.
But I also it's tough because while they haven't won a championship since 2007,
they've won enough.
It's not like they've
won races.
Well, yeah, right. Like think about Vettel. He came real close several times.
Yeah.
Right? Like he was a couple points behind Lewis.
Charles even.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they've had enough performance that I think it hasn't encouraged enough change.
Yeah.
So it's like probably to their detriment that they have still been okay.
Yeah, I wonder if now it's become a more hot button issue because for so long it was Red Bull, then Mercedes, then Red Bull. Now you have a third constructor that has come in to push you out, right? Because McLaren was on the back foot for a long time.
Yeah.
And they've made the steps to come in. So now you have those three fighting versus just the two.
Yeah, it makes it a lot more challenging.
So instead of finishing second behind either a Red Bull or a Mercedes, it's now you're fighting for third or potentially fourth, right? I know they're not right now, but maybe that's something to do with it. Is that others have come in and pushed them and given them more competition.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We shall see. Anything else?
No, that's it for me.
I got nothing. I'm sure I'll think of something and be like, ah.
Yeah.
But anyway. So we'll be back next week with something.
With something. We gonna be here.
I don't know what, but I would like to take a moment and thank our listeners because we are in 13 countries.
That's good.
Which I didn't think possible. So we love our international listeners. I don't want to offend anybody. I love you all. I'm very excited anytime
a new country
pops
comes
up.
into the mix.
Yeah, it's very exciting. So yeah, have a great week, and we will be back next week. Motorsport Podcast is a Vorbeck Media production. Follow us on Instagram at Motorsport Pod. You can listen to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or our YouTube page, Motorsport Pod. Bye.